All right, it's 1:20 in the morning here on the East Coast, so I don't know if anybody who usually watches these is awake, but I watch every game and I'm usually up at this hour anyways, so work for me. But I might just be talking in the void, or maybe you'll watch live or tomorrow, but it's official. I'm calling it. Now it's December 9th here on the East Coast. Celtics dead. That is the time of death. December 9th, around the time that the buzzer sounded about 5 minutes ago. So like 1:15 a.m. Eastern. The 2021-2022 Boston Celtics are dead. They are survived by a very angry fan base who should be very disappointed. Just an unforgivable loss tonight. I know I didn't do a live show last night after the Lakers. I was watching at my dad's, and by the time I got home, it was just ridiculously late. But they lost that game too, in case you didn't know already. So that brings them to 1-3 on this road trip that everybody was saying. And I said before the road trip, this is the defining part of the Celtics season. This month is going to be the defining month for the Celtics. And they've absolutely fallen flat on their faces. Uh, I'm not saying they had to win every game. I didn't expect them to be 4-0 at this point in the road trip, but certainly all of these have been winnable games. The hardest game they've played was in Utah, the first game, and they had a nice showing there, though they lost. The Blazers, they should have beaten them. They did. The Lakers, not very good. Celtics got embarrassed last night. And then tonight, against the Clippers, without Paul George, that should have been your easiest opponent so far in this road trip. And you were, for the most part, terrible. And I hate this spirited comeback thing at the end. It gives people a false sense of what the Celtics are. The Celtics aren't the team that fought and clawed to try to come back at the end only to fall short. They're the team that fell behind by 20 to a Clippers team that didn't have their best player. They're a team that was getting punked by a second-round rookie, Brandon Boston Jr. That's the team that the Celtics are, where people have career days against them. Rookies have career days against them. Rookie second-round picks have career days against them. People look at the Celtics on their schedule and they salivate. They go, "Oh yeah, we can beat this team. I can have a career night against this team," because there's either going to be a game where the Celtics don't play any defense or they don't play any offense or both. But we haven't gotten good offense and good defense in the same game, and there's no reason to expect them to at this point. We're getting closer to the midway point of the season. They're 13-13 now, so 26 games in. They are what they are. They're a 500 team. This shouldn't be news to anybody. I know Jaylen Brown's been out. When he's in the lineup, they're a 500 team. This is what a 500 team looks like. Exactly what the Celtics have been putting out on the court. So no one should be surprised. And you should be frustrated, though, because having two young all-stars on the team, you should be able to put around enough talent around them and a good enough coach around them to be able to play better than a 500 team. Or maybe you don't have the right two all-stars. The combination doesn't work. But I think a lot of fans and a lot of the Celtics management and ownership just keeps expecting the team to suddenly get better one day. Oh, if these guys keep playing together and they keep maturing and stuff, they'll be better. No, they won't. This is run its course. This has completely run its course. The Celtics are at this point in time in 2021, December 9th, exactly what they're going to be. This roster has maximized what it can be. So it's time to make a big trade and pick a direction, forward or backwards. Talked about this on the Pick and Roll NBA podcast with Sap earlier today. I wasn't in favor of it earlier in the season, but now I am. Call Portland, offer up Jaylen Brown for Damian Lillard. I think they would do it. If they wouldn't, okay, it doesn't hurt to call. And if you do make that trade, what's the worst that could happen? You're a 500 team still? Okay, that's where you are right now. At least you tried something new. And that Damian Lillard is going to have a shorter career than Jaylen Brown because he's older. Okay. Is Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum, that pairing, going to improve enough together to get you to where you're competing for a championship? I certainly don't think so. Are there free agents on the horizon that are going to choose to come to Boston to play with those guys? I don't think so. Do you have the trade chips to trade pieces besides Brown and Tatum to bring in a third star? I don't think so. So that leaves you with trying to make a move with Tatum or Brown and build a team around one of those guys and bring in another star. Maybe it'll work better. But this isn't working. This can't work. It's over. Anybody who thinks it can and the guys just need more time to play together and Jaylen Brown just needs to get healthy is delusional. Just completely wacko, QAnon, storming the Capitol on January 6th delusional. That's just how it is. I, I don't want to be the all doom and gloom, but I'm being honest. This is what the team is. So look at it honestly. That's all I'm saying. You played a team tonight. I know you're on the second night of a back-to-back. I know Jaylen Brown's not playing, but you're playing the Clippers who haven't been that good this year. They started off nicely and then they've cooled down, but so not that great. And Paul George, their best player by a country mile, not playing tonight. You should have been able to take care of them. Instead, you fell behind by 20 and you had to claw to even get back in the game. That's not what good teams do. That's not even what mediocre teams do. That's what bad teams do. They're a bad team. And the problem is they're not bad enough to be in the mix for a lottery pick to add another potential future star to pair with Tatum and Brown that way. So what do? Got to be bold. Got to make a trade that might upset some of the fan base because the worst thing to do is be where you are here. I know I sound like a broken record. I talk about this like every 2 weeks, but seriously, today is the time of death on this Celtics season. And they are going to finish with a 500 record or a game below or a game above if they stay with this course and lose in the first round or lose in the play-in. Period. I'd bet the house on it. I'd bet anything. If that's the way they continue with this roster. There's zero chance they win a round in the playoffs with this roster. Zero. So I'll put it at 1% because the other team could hypothetically, everybody on their team tears their ACL. That's the only way the Celtics are doing it. Let's get into the box score before we get out of here. I have a headache now talking about this. Celtics starters tonight: Tatum, Horford, Rob Williams, Marcus Smart, Dennis Schroeder. Tatum, to his credit, I think played a very good game. He must be frustrated, and then that's another reason too. You got to kind of have a little sense of urgency. He's gonna bolt. You're gonna get nothing for him. He's got to have some Paul Pierce in him and say, "Hey, give me some guys to play with, or I'm out of here, or trade me." He's got to do that at some point because this is getting ridiculous. But yes, Tatum played well tonight. 36 minutes, 9 of 20 from the floor, 2 of 7 from 3, 9 of 10 from the free throw line, 10 rebounds, 2 assists, 2 steals, a block, 29 points. He did have 6 turnovers, which is not good. The team turned the ball over just an astronomical amount of times, 22 turnovers against, again, not a great Clippers team. Just horrible turnovers you saw. And Tatum was not immune to that, but he was the best player on the court for the Celtics tonight. Al Horford was fine, nothing special in his 35 minutes tonight. 4 of 8 from the floor, 1 of 4 from 3. Hit both of his free throw shots, 7 rebounds, 7 assists, 11 points for Al. Rob Williams was not good tonight. 20 minutes, just 4 points, 2 of 4 from the floor, 7 rebounds, 1 assist, 1 steal, 6 turnovers for Rob. Marcus Smart played good defense towards the end, but didn't have a bad game, but he didn't have a great game. He really struggled from 3 tonight. 37 minutes, 7 of 16 from the floor, which is fine for him, but 1 of 6 from 3, no good. 7 rebounds, 6 assists, 4 steals, 4 turnovers, and 16 points. Again, not bad, but certainly not great. Dennis Schroeder, same sort of story. 38 minutes for Schroeder, 8 of 16 from the floor, 2 of 6 from 3, 4 rebounds, 8 assists, 1 steal, and just 1 turnover for Schroeder and 19 points. So he at least took care of the ball better, which is unusual because he's a little reckless with the basketball. As far as the Celtics bench, Grant Williams did not make an impact in his 24 minutes, just shooting 1 of 4 from the floor, 3 rebounds, 5 points. Aaron Nesmith only played 4 minutes. He scores 2 points, and his Freedom, 5 minutes, 2 of 3 from the floor, 4 points. Josh Richardson was pretty good tonight in his 30 minutes, 5 of 11 from the floor, 5 rebounds, 17 points, made a lot more of an impact in the first half and the second. And Romeo Langford gets 11 minutes and scores 4 points. No Peyton Pritchard tonight. And again, only 4 minutes for Neesmith. Those two guys that you kind of are hoping to develop, and Ime Udoka seems unwilling to let them do that. Just a really, really frustrating, awful loss for the Celtics. That I mean, you let BJ Brandon Boston Jr. score 27 points, which is a career high by about 20 points. Uh, Luke Kennard had 15 points off the bench. Marcus Morris Sr. 20 points. Zubac a double double. Terrence Mann a double double. Like I know these guys aren't bums, but they had their way with the Celtics, and the Celtics just their defense was being talked about like a week ago. Like, oh man, look at this Celtics defense. Ime Udoka has changed the culture. Like they were locking teams down. They had a nice couple stretch of games. That doesn't mean you have a good defense. Celtics don't do anything consistently except for be inconsistent. So that does it. Time of death, December 9th, June 2021. This team is dead. I'll continue to watch. I'll continue to break down the games. But unless they make a big move, and I'm talking trading one of their two pillars, big move, nothing's going to happen. They'll be stuck in this bottom to middle territory. So, yeah. Up next, it gets really great for the Celtics. They play the Phoenix Suns. And by the way, they could win that game. I don't think they will. They could. I will tell you this before they play that game on Friday. Do not read too much into it if they win. Don't read anything into it if they win, because then they'll turn around and lose to a crap team. You can't read anything into these wins because they'll go ahead and lose. And I guess you could say to me, well, you can't read into the losses because they'll go ahead and win. The losses mean more when you're a 500 team than the wins do. That's just how it is. That is that's I know it doesn't necessarily make sense, but that's the way it goes. All right, so I will be back on Friday, talk about that game, explain more reasons why the Celtics are dead, and hopefully that wakes up Brad Stevens and Wick Grossbeck and the rest of the Celtics, ownership and front office, and they do something because this team is lifeless unless they get a shot in the right in the heart, not in the arm. They need a shot in the heart. They're going to be dead the rest of the way. Thanks for watching, everybody. I appreciate you, and I will talk to you on Friday. See ya.